Crikey! You don't normally get out of bed for anything less than 500 kilometres. I'm hiking up Old Winchester Hill. The views are absolutely stunning. Whew, absolutely awful. Oh, I'm looking like a bit of a state. My favourite view is 5:45 in the morning and I'm going on a bike ride. But not just any bike ride, I'm doing the South Downs Way, one of my favourite rides. This is a bit of a classic route. For those that don't know, it's 100 miles running between Winchester and Eastbourne. There's about 3,500 metres of climbing. So who says the south is flat? Just leaving Winchester now on the outskirts. Going to be crossing over the M3 in a minute. It's been very hot the last few days, upwards of 30 degrees down south. Today's looking a little bit cooler, but I'm starting quite early and hopefully get this done by this evening and have a lovely, but maybe long, day out in the saddle. You can see the sun starting to rise over there. Quite wet now. These overgrown bushes at the side of the path covering me in that morning dew. A couple of miles in onto the first climb of many, although this is probably moderate in the grand scheme of things. It starts with a bit of a tarmac drag before heading off-road and up to the top of Matamy Bowl. So that's the road part of the first climb done. We're now thrown out onto this gravel double track. The sun rising behind that hedgerow is beautiful. So here's hopefully to a lovely day out on the South Down Way. And of course it's got its fair share of field edge rutted gravel, which is why today I'm on my mountain bike. I have ridden it on my gravel bike probably a couple of times, but the mountain bike is just so much more comfortable, especially when you want a nice day out. Slightly unusual feature on the South Downs Way at the moment is this big fence and watchtowers. Down there is the Boomtown Festival, which takes place next weekend. They're setting it up already, probably been setting up for weeks, and this little bit of trail goes right through the festival ground. So in a couple of days time there's a diversion in place for a week or two which takes you around the festival, so you can't sneak in and have a bit of a party. Passing by the camping areas of the festival, no bike packing going on. So I rode down here about 2 days ago and it was absolutely bone dry, and last night I think I must have had some torrential summer downpours because it's pretty sloppy, and I am already covered in mud. I'm about 5.5 miles in. Just can't escape it, can I? And here's the last bit of the wall as we leave the Boomtown Festival ground. And of course, being the South Downs, there are many gates to open. I think it might be around 100 gates. That was a good one. Easy to open, easy to close. Good thing about South Downs Way is there's lots of cafes. This one at Holden Farm, only about 7.5 miles in. I'm hopefully going to ride to one of the Cadence cafes, which are kind of pop-up cafes on the route. Get myself a cheese toasted sandwich as a mid-morning early lunch. So onto a little bit of tarmac. So far nice but damp. The chalky trails are pretty slippy, but I'm sure once that sun comes up and it's going to get a bit warmer, they'll soon dry out. So that's 10 miles in, 10% done, 90 to go, but worryingly lots more hills. So I'm starting at the Winchester end. It's actually a little less hilly, I think, this side than the second half, which is much more up and down. So it's an easier start, harder finish going Winchester to Eastbourne. But what I do have the benefit of today, hopefully, is a tailwind because it's blowing from the west, and having a headwind across the South Down Way makes it about 10 times harder. So I'll be praying for a nice tailwind to blow me to Eastbourne. First of many water taps. Make it very easy to get water on the South Down Way. You know, kind of every 10 miles I guess there's a water tap. I'm taking just 2 bottles with me today, small one with some carb mix in, and 750ml bottle just for water. But I think you could probably get away with 1 bottle, to be honest. More gates on the top of Beacon Hill. There's normally a stunning view down there, but it's quite misty. I think we drop down to Westmeon in a minute before tackling Old Winchester Hill, which is a bit of a beast. My bad, it's not Westmeon, it's Exton. Exton. Not quite sure how you say it. See Old Winchester Hill shrouded in mist. Rather nice little stretch. Good surface and flat. But Old Winchester Hill is a bit of a beast. There's Old Winchester Hill. Perfectly misty right at the top, look. So those stunning views you get from there probably won't be happening today. So we've got a nice bit of field edge gravel before we go up Old Winchester Hill, which I'm probably going to have to push because it's a very steep, quite loose and probably damp and slippy climb up to the top. So yeah, I'm hiking up Old Winchester Hill, but something I'm quite well versed in, having done Dorset Divide a few weeks ago. You see, it is rather steep, it's loose, still a little bit damp this morning, so I lost traction down the bottom. So that's Old Winchester Hill. As you can see, the views are absolutely stunning from up here. May as well crack on. Another water tap down at Meon Springs. So yeah, it's rolling down towards Meon Springs, where I think there's a big campsite we can go glamping. I think a lot of people stay down there when they're walking and cycling. And as you come out Meon Springs, you go up this concrete road, and you probably can't tell now, but it's quite steep. Certainly ramps up towards the end. But what this eventually leads to is a rather nasty, rocky, rooty, slippery, chalky climb up to the sustainability centre. Reasonably damp today, so we might be seeing a bit more hiker bike. Oh, it's bumpy, slippy. I'm still going. Well, I managed to ride up it, which is a first in a long while. Quite pleased with that, really. And again, more stunning views as a reward for the climb. At about 20 miles in, nearly at the sustainability centre. As you'll see later on, the western end of the Southdown Way, much more wooded compared to the eastern side, which is a lot more exposed, but that does come with those useful views. It's a bit of morning admin taken care of at Butser Hill, but I have just gone the wrong way. Buckaroo! Whoa! Crikey! That was a super fast descent off Butser Hill. Not as fun going up it, but very fun going down it. Queen Elizabeth Country Park. Lots of bike trails here. Just going to pull in, top up my water, top up my energy drink. Just came through, or coming through, Queen Elizabeth Country Park. 25 miles, the quarter mark. Quarter of the route is done. Although it is the easier quarter, because the terrain from now really gets a bit more aggressive, bigger climbs, bigger descents, maybe bigger fun. Oh, this is a nice bit. I think this is also in the King Alfred Way. Just around here is where the King Alfred Way joins the Southdown Way, and it basically goes back the way I've come all the way to Winchester. Heading towards Harting Down. The mist is starting to fade, sun's coming out, it's getting warmer. Might get some views. So you kind of got a view, not a full view, but you can see more than you could about half hour ago. And you can see where we're going, winding along this path and then up that hill, but not over the very top, because you kind of go round it. Should have also said Harting Down. It's a 30-mile mark. 30 miles done, 70 to go. Luckily not up that, go round to the right. Although when I did first do the Southdown Way with a few friends over a couple of days, we did go up there, got it wrong and we had to drag our bikes up and over, and if I remember it was absolutely awful. So we're up the back side of Harton Hill now. Got some lovely South Downs scenery, and this is where it becomes quite a bit more open, and we'll get those stunning views as that mist lifts ever more. But what is quite nice is riding without a hydration pack. As good as they are for having lots of water on board, they make me really, really hot, and as you can see, I get hot enough as it is. They had a little bit of a downhill and then straight back up into this very steep bit of chalk. I don't think I can actually film and ride. Just been down a very rutted descent of Harting Down, type that makes me feel glad I'm not on my gravel bike, and kind of makes me wish I had a full suspension bike. But whatever bike you ride, I'm sure you'll make it down there. This is nice, just rolling along this ridge line on my way to Cocking. Just grabbing a bit more water at this helpful water point in Cocking. I don't think I've been on this section out of Cocking for a good few years. Probably the last time was when I did a South Downs double, which is riding Winchester Eastbourne back to Winchester in under 24 hours. I remember crawling up here listening to Shakira in some very hot sunshine. Back onto a slightly more familiar bit now. This was where you joined the South Downs Way in the Great British Escapade back in June, having climbed up from Grapham. So I kind of know this bit pretty well and I've ridden it quite a few times. And in a minute we get one of my favourite views on the South Down Way. And there it is, my favourite view on the South Down Way, coming into Up Waltham. I'm going to stop for some food. Stopping for I guess an early lunch down at this Cadence Club Cafe down there at Waltham. Got a rather big climb after this, and I guess that's the story of the day, isn't it really? Climb after climb. Oh yes. A bit strange stopping because normally I'm rushing through, trying to minimise my stop, smash down a chicken wrap on a petrol station before court and dash off again. But having a 20-minute sit down in the shade was really nice. Just put some more sun cream on. I'm going to crack on in a minute. So there's a big-ish climb up to I think the Slindon Estate, and then we end up at the top of Berry Hill. We drop down again, and then there's an absolute monster of a climb coming out of Amberley. So I'll catch you in a bit. Here we go then. Nice big climb up to Slindon Estate. Another stunning classic South Down view. Flint path rolling up the hill there, and the wildflower meadows either side. It's approaching Berry Hill, and I tell you what, it's lovely cycling without all that clobber strapped on the bike. Bike feels so much more lighter, more nimble, picks up speed quickly, seems to go uphill a bit quicker. But nice descent now down into the village of Amberley, but we pay it back with a big climb up there somewhere. Another amazing view near Amberley now, right in the valley, which obviously means there's a lot more height to gain when we climb back out. Amberley water tap. There's a climb out of Amberley, starting relatively okay on smooth tarmac. Halfway up we kick off road up this loose gravelly bit. Just when you think you might be done, it throws the wall at you straight up. I don't know if I've actually ever managed to ride the whole way up, but we'll give it a go today. Whew, I made it up. The wall just shows how much a bit of baggage does to your bike weight, handling and ability to climb those technical loose bits. But actually rewarded with a good view for now. And up the old gate. Another gate. Oh, it's pretty warm now. 29 degrees on the Garmin. Hopefully the last few days of being really hot at home and at work have helped with the heat adaptations. There is quite a nice breeze that's picking up though, quite a cool breeze. So hopefully that'll cool me down a little bit. Out the Washington water tap. These handy little signs to tell you where the next tap is. That was a nasty bit done. Crossing the dual carriageway down there. And now we have the climb up to Chanterbury Ring, which is, again, a bit of a mixed bag. I think it starts off like this on the tarmac and then gets quite loose and gravelly, so I'm not going to try and film it because I want to try and make it up there. See you at the top. It's getting steeper, so back onto some nice gravel at a less severe gradient. Come up to Chanterbury Ring, almost at the top of this climb. Then I think we roll a bit before we drop down into Stenning. Just enjoying this natural aircon breeze at Chanterbury Ring. You might be asking yourself, but Tom, why are you doing the South Down Way? You don't normally get out of bed for anything less than 500 kilometres. Well, the idea today was just to have some fun, really. As much as I enjoy those longer events, I do find they take their toll physically and mentally. The stress of preparing for them, especially when you're going somewhere you've never been before. Lots of panicking, last minute panics for kit and that sort of thing. Find somewhere to sleep, find the food, etc, etc. Just wanted to do a long ride, we didn't have to stress. And I guess the other thing about the South Down Way is it's where I first started cycling. It's probably where I did my first bike packing trip when I was about 16 with some friends, although at that point in time it probably wasn't called bike packing. I think we just carried a load of crap on our bikes for about 4 days. So that's where my love of cycling really began. The South Down Way also weirdly connects where I'm originally from to where I live now. So riding along it feels a little bit like I'm riding home, and I think also it's just a great test of man and machine. So if anyone wants to do the South Down Way or has an inkling to do the South Down Way, I can highly recommend it. And if you've got any questions about the South Down Way, feel free to drop them below and I'll try and answer them. But I'm going to cool off for a few more minutes, have something to eat and then crack on. Oh, this bit's lovely. You can almost see the sea. It's a bit hazy still. Go on, pigs! Piggies! Another water point here. Otto Pools, I don't know how you say it. It's near Stenning. It's near Stenning, it's about 60 miles. There you go, look. However you say that. Maybe I should have said Upper Beeding rather than Stenning. Now heading towards Truleigh Hill, which is a big hill, given the name Truleigh Hill. So here it is, the start of the climb. Chalky, gravelly, single track. It's pretty bumpy. And it sort of levels out a little bit for a field. And then there's a long tarmac climb. Don't forget to look at the views. Onto the tarmac bit now. Lovely views to the left to distract you from the churning of the gears. And I'm feeling hot. It's now 31 degrees on the Garmin. Rather warm on these exposed bits. Top of Truleigh Hill. You can see where we're going to go in a minute. Rolling up to Devil's Dyke in the distance. Got a bit of a cow traffic jam coming up. Hey, it's alright, I'll go round. Must be hot. Just rolling into Devil's Dyke. Water tap at Saddlescombe Farm. There's a cafe just down there. We go that way to Pycombe in a minute. Just going to fill up my bottles again. Get some more fluid down. Onto the golf course climb out of Pycombe. Trail goes through a golf course, so watch out for those balls. Ditch and Beacon. It's a bit of a famous climb down here. See the Amex Stadium in the distance. And there's an ice cream van in the car park. This is a great little ridge, some lovely views. There's another good view. We're going downhill. There's a wood over there. We go back up in a short, sharp climb, drop back down the other side, and there's a big climb up onto that ridge line. And we drop back down, and then we go up Southeast over there, which is probably one of the biggest climbs going along that ridge line, down into the world of Alfriston, strange little town. Oh, didn't quite make it up through the steep woodland climb, but I got further than I've ever done before, so can't complain. 75 miles in, 76 miles in, and there's a water tap just there, but I forgot to film it because I was talking to someone. But believe me, there is a water tap in a wall. Bit more water, Southeast Church. And you can see Southeast Climb up through there, hideous. Southeast Climb, big grassy climb, but it keeps going up beyond what you can see there. That's a steep grass bit, but we're still going up on the grass, just not quite as steep at the moment. It's made hard because it's one of those climbs where you drop down to sea level and have to go all the way back up again. Coming through Alfred, not somewhere we want to linger. Sort of place you get trapped at for too long, and then you have to get going again and face the two last big climbs. Not got much power left on the GoPro now, so I'm gonna have to keep it short and sweet. So this is the start of the second to last big climb through this shaded woodland, and then gets quite open and exposed again as you summit the hill. Oh, it's breezy up here. Jevington Church, about 94 miles in. This is the last water tap before Eastbourne. I'm a quick top up. And then we've got the hideous rocky climb over a ridge down that way. Now it drops down into Eastbourne eventually. Let's do it! Oh goodness, that was a tough climb. My legs are feeling it now. There is Eastbourne, and I saw a sign, 3.5 miles to go. So not very far. As you can tell, I'm looking like a bit of a state. Maybe look like I've done an ultra. It's been very hot. Now there's the sea. So there it is, the illustrious end of Southdown Way. 100 miles done, but I think my Garmin says 99. No, it says 98.7. 9 hours 22 moving time. But who knew riding for fun could actually be quite fun. Now I've got to book a train. I think there's one in just under an hour, and then it's about a 2.5 hour journey back to Winchester. So I'll try and find some food, but it's been a pretty fun day out on the bike. Nice not to have to ride through the night or ride again tomorrow if I don't want to. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully it inspires you to take on the Southdown Way.
Board the Southern service to London Victoria. The next station is